Module 8, Good Manufacturing Practice, Auditing. About this module. Follow the prompts on the screen to navigate through the module. Quick quiz questions appear throughout the module. These are simple knowledge tests and are not scored or used in your final assessment. Final assessment at the end of the module is your opportunity to demonstrate your knowledge, and you will receive a score on these questions. All answers have appeared in the learning material. Navigation tip. Screens are interactive. Navigation prompts may occur at the top or bottom of the screen. Objectives. After completing this training module, trainees will have an understanding of why audit, importance of audits in GMP environment, types of audits, audit principle, art of auditing, auditor skills, investigation, audit activities, auditor attributes, self-inspection internal audit, external audit, planning, conducting, and reporting of audit, audit closeout. Why audit? Pharmaceutical products are often manufactured, tested, and distributed in complex environments, creating opportunities for potential errors, the results of which may lead to products being unsafe or lacking required quality. Pharmaceutical companies are expected to have effective quality assurance systems and comply with regulatory requirements including PICS, WHO guidelines, TGA regulatory guidelines, ICH, FDA CFR 21, and FDA guidelines, national pharmacopoeias, company policies. Why audit? Continued. A planned, independent, systematic, and documented process for obtaining objective evidence and evaluating it objectively to determine the extent to which the audit criteria are fulfilled or requirements are met. Audits can help provide a company with insight into areas that could be improved. Without an effective audit program, a company is at high risk for nonconformances, regulatory actions, security breaches, poor product quality, loss of certification and registration, increased product liability risk, and a suboptimal process improvement system. Quick Quiz 1. Select the best answer and click Submit. Pharmaceutical companies are expected to have effective quality assurance systems and comply with regulatory requirements which may include PICS, WHO guidelines, TGA regulatory guidelines, ICH, FDA CFR 21, national pharmacopoeias, company policies, all of the above. Types of audits. Introduction. In a GMP environment, 3 types of audits may be referred to. 1. Regulatory. 2. Quality systems. 3. Internal. Regulatory. A regulatory audit is the systemic process of collecting information and evidence to assess compliance with regulations and the effectiveness of the quality assurance system. Quality systems. An quality systems audit is a systemic process of collecting information and evidence to assess compliance with regulations and the effectiveness of the quality management system. Internal. Internal audits are conducted by the quality department against both regulations and internal quality management procedures. Audit process tools. Audits can be conducted using different process tools such as system-based audit approach. The entire purpose of having a systems approach in which the systems are independent yet integrate into each other seamlessly is that having a systems-based inspection compliance program ensures that the organization is equipped with the ability to assess whether each of the systems is in a state of control. Linked-based process approach. An audit of linked processes is a comprehensive examination of the processes to verify that they are performing as intended. Processes generate results, and linked process audits determine if the results are accurate and being generated by effectively managed processes. Risk-based audit approach is a relatively new way of independently and objectively obtaining evidence regarding assertions about a process for the purpose of forming an opinion about the process and subsequently reporting on the degree to which the assertions are implemented. Forensic audit is an examination and evaluation of a firm's or individual's financial records to derive evidence that can be used in a legal proceeding. For-cause audit is an audit performed to investigate a specific quality failure or process deviation and or to prepare for a regulatory inspection. For-cause directed audit is an audit of research or investigators that is initiated at the request of the IRB or the institutional office to obtain or verify information necessary to ensure compliance with regulations and institutional requirements. Data integrity audit. Data integrity refers to the fact that data must be reliable and accurate over its entire life cycle. Data integrity and data security go hand in hand, even though they're separate concepts. Data is expected to be attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, and accurate. Audit principles: integrity, fair presentation, due professional care, confidentiality, independence, evidence-based approach, risk-based approach. The art of auditing. Style. Different people have different auditing styles. Experience. We all have different knowledge and experience that will result in a different depth of audit. Auditors should have a good understanding of the type of process being audited. Variability. An understanding of what an audit is expected to achieve should help to limit variability. A good understanding of the type of process also helps. Scope. Even though a single quality system may be in place, audits need to cover the enormous scope of manufacturers. For example, GMP, vitamin tablets to a sterile injectable vaccine. ISO 13485, medical devices, tongue depressors to a pacemaker. Auditing sampling techniques: random, systematic, haphazard, judgment, block, statistical, proportional. Risk-based approach. The most effective audit technique is a risk-based approach. Understanding the risks of the audit subject posed to patients, customers, and consumers of medicinal products. The primary risk factor for regulatory authorities is the type of process. Aseptic processes, biologicals, and other sterile products are the highest risk processes and are given a high risk priority. The 4 simple words. There are 4 simple words that describe the way audits should be conducted. 1. Fair. 2. Firm. 3. Friendly. 4. Thorough. Fair. Introduction. The first of the 4 simple words to ensure an audit is conducted well is fair. The role of the auditor. An auditor must ensure they approach an audit with reference to the approved codes and legal standards. Balance. If something is acceptable and not considered a deficiency, but could be approved upon, it should be referred to as a recommendation in the audit report. At the exit meeting, comment on both strengths and weaknesses. Objectivity. It's not what we think the manufacturer or supplier should be doing, it's what the code or standards require. This should be reflected in the language the auditor uses. Example: the code requires. Transparency. Potential deficiencies must be explained at the time they are observed. All deficiencies must be discussed at the next exit meeting. Fair. Continued. Be constructive. Be open to discuss options for correction. When a corrective action is documented, it then must be followed through with an action. Correction during an audit. In the event that a correction to a deficiency is made during the audit, if appropriate, recognize and compliment the auditee for taking quick action. Indicate after the deficiency, corrected during the audit, response not required. Don't be petty. If there is a very minor one-off slip-up, use your discretion. It's the systemic system and process failures that are the real risk. Stay focused. Risk management. The risk-based approach was never intended as a substitute for regulatory compliance. For example, where there is a clear non-compliance with regulatory requirements, then there is a regulatory risk, even if the risk to patients is low. Quick Quiz 2. True or false? Select the best answer and click Submit. If something is acceptable and not considered a deficiency, but could be improved upon, it should be referred to as a recommendation in the audit report. True. False. Firm. Introduction. The simple word to remember is firm. Follow through. If you ask for something, follow through and insist. Clarify and remind, and if still not produced, it becomes a deficiency. Within reason. Be open to change if there is a good enough reason to change the plan and it makes little or no difference. Be thorough. Cover everything in an area while there. Don't go backwards and forwards throughout the audit. Audit plan. The audit plan must be followed. Auditors, not manufacturers, decide what is going to be done and when. Send an agenda at least a week prior to the audit. Quick Quiz 3. True or false? Select the best answer and click Submit. The manufacturer should decide the order of the audit and how much time is spent in each area. True. False. Friendly. Introduction. The third simple word to remember is friendly. There is nothing to be gained by conducting an audit in an unfriendly atmosphere. Create a positive atmosphere. You have the ability to control the tone of the audit. Actively try to establish a friendly atmosphere. Staff will open up and involve themselves in the audit process. Better cooperation will lead to an efficient audit. You will be more likely to discover what really goes on. Always demonstrate professional courtesy. Show respect. Be pleasant. Be calm and confident. Be open to discussion and different opinions. Be prepared to defend your own opinions using references to the regulations and experience of industry norms and best practices. Never. It is never acceptable to discuss religion, politics, etc. Detail stories about family or overseas trips. Professionalism. During an audit, don't, even if provoked, do any of the following: aggressive, angry, rude, personal, use bad language, gloat, or point score. Quick Quiz 4. True or false? Select the best answer and click Submit. To build a positive relationship when auditing, auditors should talk about their family holidays and current political affairs. This will make them seem more approachable. True, false. Thorough. Introduction. The fourth simple word to remember is thorough. Opportunities. We have to accept that time is always limited. A short audit can still be thorough, particularly if you manage time on a risk basis. Examples. Document control can be assessed throughout the inspection. Look for key elements in an SOP. Verify via interview. A short time in the warehouse is often enough, however, if the contractor is a storage and distribution depot or a clinical supplies packaging and distribution facility. Then you need to spend more time in the warehouse. If there is cold chain involved, then you need to spend time looking at the cold chain procedures and the controls that are in place. Time management. The audit plan should allocate time on a risk basis. Stay focused and keep moving. Don't pursue trivial items. Be flexible and manage the unexpected. Review and revise the plan as necessary. Keep everyone informed. Once compliance or non-compliance has been established, move on. Focus on critical systems. Be clever in deciding when to dig deeper and how deep to dig. Consider critical quality systems, for example, the effectiveness of the corrective and preventative action systems. Critical elements should never be left out. Investigate further on critical elements. When you discover minor things, if the next level is okay, move on. If time runs out, it is okay if a minor element is not covered. Note in the audit report, not covered or briefly covered. The next audit should cover these properly. Effective communication. To be an effective auditor means establishing rapport, knowing how to use soft skills and nonverbal communication, knowing how to ask questions, knowing how to listen, being well prepared, avoiding being overly formal, explaining your task, giving people space to speak, helping people feel at ease in your presence, following your instincts. Questioning styles. Closed questions are used to narrow the context and establish a point of fact. They are also a good type of introductory question. Examples. Are you responsible for data entry? I would like to ask you about. Open questions are a great way to start when inspecting a new area. They encourage people to talk and instill confidence in the person responding. Example. Tell me how samples are logged into laboratory. Probing questions can assess the level of consideration and risk applied to a process, assess levels of controls, allow auditors to dig deeper, and Be used to verify a corrective action from a previous audit. Example: what happens if samples are delivered in a damaged container? Hypothetical questions can be used to assess people's knowledge of procedures and the level of controls. They are also useful to determine people's reactions. Example: what would you do if samples tested out of specification? Leading questions can be used to get acceptance of an observation or deficiency, or close out an issue. Example: I suppose that you are going to change the procedure to reflect how samples are logged. Paraphrase questions can be used to confirm that you understood what the person said and helps to avoid misunderstanding. Example: from what you have told me, while the procedure was followed exactly, an incorrect dosing regime was administered. Is my understanding correct? Quick Quiz 5. Multiple choice. Select the best answer and click Submit. Tell me, how are samples logged into the laboratory? What type of questioning style is this? Open question, closed question, hypothetical question. Active Introduction. Listening is a skill. The ability to listen is one of the signs of a good auditor. Positive listening techniques. Active listening. Engage yourself. Encourage the person through body signs. Confirm that the message is understood. Remember to make an effort to let people know that you are listening. Look at the person talking to you. Ask that it is okay to take brief notes. Write more later. Nod your head to show that you are listening. Focus on a person's train of thoughts, not on your next questions. If there is a gap, don't rush and ask other questions. Competitive listening. Competitive listening includes having your own idea how things should be done or what has happened instead of listening to what someone is saying. Correcting words to align with your expectations. Interrupting people. These are not good characteristics for an auditor. Different styles. Different people respond to different communication styles. Learning how to identify these different styles and incorporating these styles into your communication is a powerful tool. Quick Quiz 6. Select the best answer and click Submit. The following are examples of what type of listening skills. Engage yourself. Encourage the person through body signs. Confirm that the message is understood. Active listening skills. Competitive listening skills. Investigation. The rules for investigation. Be precise in the use of words and demand the same from others. Pay specific attention to unusual events. Use all of the senses, sight, sound, and smell. Always watch for errors in every system of control, document, record reviewed. Audit, on-site activities. Conduct opening meeting. Confirm the agreement of all participants, e.g. auditee, audit team, to the audit plan. Introduce the audit team and their roles. Ensure that all planned audit activities can be performed. Reviewing documented information while conducting audit. Gather information to support the audit activities. Collecting and verifying information. Methods. Interview, observation, and/or review of information. Preparation for closing meeting. Content of audit conclusions. Auditor attribute. Introduction. The three most important attributes for an auditor are 1. Experience, 2. Auditing technical skills, 3. Personal strengths. Experience. Experience is crucial for an auditor, including but not limited to broad knowledge of quality management systems, exposure to various types of manufacturers, quality systems, and controls, knowledge of different types of technologies applied in pharmaceutical and/or medical device manufacturing and testing laboratories, being able to identify and focus on areas of high risk. Qualifications. Being well trained in auditing. A variety of qualifications support an auditor. However, experience and personal attributes must underpin qualifications. Personal strengths. The following list some of the personal attributes that would support a good auditor: honest and unbiased, diplomatic, self-disciplined, able to communicate with clarity, able to communicate at any level of an organization, interested and patient, observant, resilient, firm, open-minded, good judgment, including a strong understanding of a risk. Undesirable characteristics. The following list some undesirable characteristics, abilities for an auditor: limited experience with QMS and GMP, close-minded, lack of good judgment, opinionated, always correct, inability to prioritize based on risk. Quick Quiz 7. Multiple choice. Select the best answer and click Submit. Which three of the following are desirable qualities in an auditor? This is a multiple answer question. A. Honest and unbiased. B. Self-disciplined. C. Limited experience in QMS and GMP. D. Opinionated. E. Ability to identify areas of high risk. Self-inspections, internal audits. Principle. Self-inspections should be conducted in order to monitor the implementation and compliance with GMP principles and to propose necessary corrective measures. 9.1. Personnel matters, premises, equipment, documentation, production, quality control, distribution of the medicinal products, arrangements for dealing with complaints and recalls, and self-inspection should be examined at intervals following a prearranged program in order to verify their conformity with the principles of quality assurance. 9.2. Self-inspections should be conducted in an independent and detailed way by designated competent persons from the company. Independent audits by external experts may also be useful. 9.3. All self-inspections should be recorded. Reports should contain all the observations made during the inspections and, where applicable, proposals for corrective measures. Statements on the actions subsequently taken should also be recorded. Departmental. Internal audits should be performed by QA, and QA should be audited by someone independent of QA, such as a trained audit team, a corporate audit team, or a consultant. Audits should include planned periodic self-inspections, restricted to a department or a functional unit, use of checklists to ensure a methodical approach. Results are confined to the audited area. Site. Site self-inspections are more detailed inspections. Use audit plans and aid memoirs. Use these inspections as an opportunity to identify interdepartmental issues and provide good understanding of compliance. Provide the audit report to top management. Corporate. Corporate self-inspections are generally compliance and corporate governance focused and may encounter some complexities due to different regional regulations. Provide the audit report to top management. External support. Self-inspections conducted by external experts can be a full self-audit of a facility or a system-specific audit. Benefits include external expertise, a fresh set of eyes, no politics. External audits. Introduction. External audits include quality system, ISO, and regulatory audits. Audits. Regulatory audits, carried out by national auditing inspecting authorities, verify compliance with the ISO standards and other national legal requirements, could be product-specific or system audits, could be triggered by a product recall or other undesired events, unannounced, may be detailed in scope. Due diligence. Due diligence audits, pre-contract, carried out prior to entering into contract manufacture, carried out prior to the acquisition of a site or a product, or even a company, used to determine the manufacturer's capability to manufacture a product, are limited in scope, are a basis to develop good relationships between contract giver and acceptor. Contractor audits. Contractor audits, carried out to determine manufacturer's technical capability and GMP compliance, carried out by a group of experts from contract giver, carried out prior to the acquisition of a site or a product or even a company, establish line of communications and priorities between involved parties. Supplier audits. Supplier audits, carried out on suppliers of critical raw materials and packaging materials, used to verify materials specifications, could be used to justify reduced raw material testing. Quick Quiz 8. Multiple choice. Select the best answer and click Submit. What type of audit do the following points describe? Carried out by national auditing inspecting authorities, verify compliance with the ISO standards, could be product-specific or system audits, could be triggered by a product recall or other undesired events, detailed in scope. A. Contractor audit. B. Supplier audit. C. Regulatory audit. Planning and audit. Planning is a key to audit success. Good preparation allows you to start the audit smoothly and in a professional manner. Good preparation shows that you are taking it seriously. Involving the auditee builds positive working relationships. Being well prepared allows you to concentrate on the important and high risk. Being well prepared means there will be fewer surprises. You are likely to be more relaxed during the audit. 1. There is no excuse for not planning. 2. Select an audit team to suit the audit. 3. Make sure roles and responsibilities are clearly defined. 4. Agree to who is going to cover what part in advance. 5. Gather information. 6. Make appropriate travel arrangements in advance. Applying risk management. Focus. During an audit, we assess risk in terms of threat to the patient and to the company. The time devoted to any activity during an audit should balance against the risk associated with the activity. Identify high-risk areas during planning. Assess risk when provided with information during audit. objective analysis. It is impossible to look at everything during an audit in a given time. An audit is a sampling exercise, and therefore an auditor should know where to sample and how much to sample. This should be based on an objective analysis of risk. Quick Quiz 9. Select the best answer and click Submit. The time devoted to any activity during an audit should balance against the risk associated with the activity. True, false. Aid Memoirs. Aid memoirs are audit guidance documents available from PICS. These are good training tools for auditors. Example, quality control labs. Useful PICS aid memoirs. Quality control labs. Utilities. Biotech. Packaging. APIs. Conducting an audit. Introduction. When conducting an audit, the following criteria must always be in the forefront of your mind. 1. Professionalism. 2. Preparation. 3. Technique. 4. Note-taking. 5. Exit meeting. Professionalism. Establish a good rapport by maintaining a professional image throughout the audit and the follow-up phases. Always be professional. Remain professional even if the auditees are not being professional. Polite and courteous. Sensitive to people's reactions. Properly prepared. Punctual, clean, and tidy. Preparation. The agenda should contain, e.g., the purpose and scope, the auditors attending and their job functions or roles in the audit, approximate timings for different phases of the audit, introductions, presentation of site capabilities and quality organization, tour, document review, and close-out meeting. The agenda should also state if there is to be a debrief at the end of each day or not. Ensure you are clear on your audit plan. Never waste the time of the auditee. Strive to be precise at all times. Loosely phrased questions attract loose answers. Technique. Develop a consistent professional technique. Maintain concentration and focus. Think risk and stay balanced. Do not criticize people. Avoid disputes. Allow people to save face. Reporting. Take good notes on what, when, and where. Your notes must be accurate and legible. Remember, your notes will be used for the exit meeting, where you will have little preparation time, and for preparation of your final report. The exit meeting. The exit meeting is a summary of your findings prior to submitting the audit report. All deficiencies should be discussed at the exit meeting. Those of special significance should be stressed, particularly those that could result in a significant citation. Encourage management to invite all concerned. Summarize your findings for each department. Strengths, weaknesses, areas of concern. Quick Quiz 10. Select the best answer and click Submit. Auditors should not discuss deficiencies at the exit meeting. This level of detail should be saved for the audit report. True, false. Audit report. Introduction. Audit findings. All critical and major deficiencies are to be cross-referenced in the report. Other deficiencies can be cross-referenced in the report, but this is not essential. Report writing. The audit report is a formal document. The report should be easy to read and understood by someone not at the audit. If a sentence or paragraph doesn't make sense to the audit reviewer or has to be read 3 times to understand the issue, it needs to be rewritten. Deficiencies should be concisely and clearly worded. Sentence structure. Sentences should be grammatically sound, complete. Example: incomplete sentence. Company quality system acceptable. Correct, complete sentence. The company's quality system was acceptable. Relevant references. Reporting of deficiencies in the report. All deficiencies must be supported by objective evidence and recorded at the time of the audit. Deficiencies that reference an SOP should fully identify the SOP in question. Audit report. Continued. Audit report distribution and completion. The audit report should be dated, reviewed, and accepted as appropriate in accordance with the audit program. The audit report should then be distributed to the relevant interested parties. After receipt of CAPA, respective auditor should review respective CAPA with its supporting documents. Auditor should agree for time frame provided by auditee for the compliance. The completion and effectiveness of these actions should be verified. This verification may be part of a subsequent audit. Outcomes should be reported to the individual managing the audit program and reported to the audit client for management review. After completion and verification of CAPA, auditor should disclose the report to the auditee. Audit follow-up. At the next audit of a particular department, it will perform a follow-up review to verify the resolution of the previous report findings. Audit closeout. Use formal audit closeout records for communications. Critical and major deficiencies should be closed with provided evidence only. Other deficiencies could be closed on corrective action plans with target days for completion. Final assessment. Review the module before commencing your final assessment. All questions relate directly to information and principles covered in the slides. You can only attempt each question once. Question types may include true-false, drag and drop, and multiple choice. Good luck.